Hey guys, this is Ed from the Seriously Ghetto Workshop. Gonna try to do a little Space Dragon update and sort of a review on this uh, Inductrix FPV that I got yesterday. Got a little sidetracked on that. It's a lot of fun, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, uh, every build has its challenges, and every build I've done so far has been different. No two have been the same. That's presented some challenges that my latest one, if you can see here, I'll try to get this up close enough, is these cool battery covers or motor wire covers that I put on here. The thing is, the wires aren't long enough to reach this 4-in-1 PDB. So I put a little bit of an extension on here from some wires off of some old ESCs, and they're going to work fine. But what I've discovered after I put them on is where I soldered them up here is it makes them a little too long. That solder joint won't bend and it won't lay well like I thought it would. And also, I guess you can see this up here, these center standoffs are not the same front and back, because in between here I have to have my camera side plates. There's a little slot in there for it, and the wire can't go on that side. There's not room on this side. So my solution is I'll take this all back apart again. I'll shorten these motor wires by about, I don't know, 20 millimeters, something like that. It'll come back to where the joint is right about here where my finger is, so that I can still cover it up and have enough exposed wire that'll be flexible and bend and go up here to the ESC. It'll lay good and it'll look good, and both of those things are important to me. I've tried to get better with every build, and I'm just not going to be satisfied with anything that's ugly or half-assed. So that's that. I'll keep you updated. Now let's move on to this little Inductrix. I couldn't tell you for the life of me if this original flight board is any good or not. I never flew it with it. You can see, if you've read any of my posts the last day or two, you know what happened here. I clipped this wire off for the camera and video transmitter, which is under the hood here, which is pretty cool. And the reason being is I needed to put it on a different flight controller and still be able to connect this and get the canopy off and all that. Thing is, I didn't know if black was power or ground, so I called Horizon Hobby technical support, and as I'm sure many or maybe all of you know by now, they gave me bum scoop. I soldered it up backwards and fried this. Okay, so I'm not too happy about that. Not real happy with Horizon Hobby, but I'm not going to go on a rant here either. What I wound up with here, though, I mean, payday, I'll get another camera, just not from Horizon Hobby. You can do better than that too, frankly, for the price. This is what I wound up with. Little B-Brain flight controller. I resoldered the lead back on correctly just to check in case the camera might have worked, but it doesn't. Like I said, I'll get another one. In the meantime, this little B-Brain flight controller was stupid simple to install and set up in Betaflight and Tyrannus. I didn't have to do much except set the endpoints and calibrate the accelerometer and gyro, which was kind of tricky at first, because my USB cable, you see these little legs here. My USB cable, the end of it is actually longer than that, so I couldn't just set it on the table. I had to lay up some little boxes and, you know, from parts and stuff, make sure they were all level, and then set this on top of it with the USB cable hanging down, because I doubt if you can see this in here, but the little USB connector is right there, and it sticks down instead of going sideways. Not a problem, got it done. And then I adjusted the in sub trim in the Tyrannus, I adjusted the center points to all be right at 1500. It had a little bit of drifting and yaw, and it wasn't quite, you know, it wouldn't quite sit still. But after doing that, I'm telling you guys, this is a blast. I'm having all kinds of fun, even line of sight. I fly it around the house. It's very maneuverable. It's very stable, and you can fly it around. It's a better bird than I am a pilot, but I'll get there once I get a camera. This is a lot of fun now. It's going to be a hell of a lot more fun once I get another camera. Now I got some batteries with it. I kind of want to show you that too. This one is I had a Horizon Hobby UMX Micro P51D Mustang that took me almost no time at all to bust, and I never did fix it. The other battery got damaged. I threw it away, you know, disposed of properly. Don't worry, fellas. This one still works. It's kind of small. I'm gonna have to look up to read it. I think it's 150 milliamp hours. That's good for a few minutes. It's okay. And if it doesn't last much longer, well, it's been laying around doing nothing anyway, so no big deal. I had that one. This is the one that came in the package. This red tape on it is my doing because it's just that much too small to fit in the little battery holder underneath. It slides in right here. That thing is just one thickness of tape. It was just real sloppy in there. Putting this on there made it tight enough it doesn't move around, but it's still easy to get in and out. 200 milliamp hours. It's not a bad battery. But for the price, I won't be buying any more of these. I got this at the same time I ordered it. It's a Strix Power Stick, 205 milliamp hours. It fits perfect. And last time I flew it, I got 7.5 minutes flight time, just kind of pushing around easy, you know, nothing extreme, but I mean, I was kind of getting with it around the house here a little bit. It's pretty good battery for about $3 or $4 from Ready Made RC. There's some others. I've since learned that this is not the best kind of connector for this sort of thing. There's guys doing all kinds of mods on another group. Chris probably tell you guys about some of it. I'll pass on some as I go if there's enough interest. I'm going to look for a different connector, like a micro loci, and I'm going to have to figure out how to change this, either buy batteries with that connector or change this and then put an end on here and on the bird and set up something for a charger, because apparently getting enough power through it, it turns out to be an issue. It's not a real big deal, but it's something I'm going to do. In the meantime, these batteries are cheap. I'll be getting a handful of them, and this thing, guys, if I'd known Horizon Hobby was going to give me bad scoop like that, frankly, I might have just went ahead and bought one from Tiny Whoop. This is a little bit cheaper. Not really much though, considering that they set it all up for you and use a better camera. So if you're going to get something like this and you have a choice between Horizon Hobby and tinyhoop.com, go to tinyhoop.com. It's going to work out better. All right, at any rate, guys, I'm Ed from the Seriously Ghetto Workshop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.